And turning now to Capitol Hill, where, as Ed mentioned, we are on already day 30 of the government shutdown. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says that there are a lot of, quote, conversations among senators to end the gridlock. We're seeing the impact that it's having on U.S. airports. Since this past Monday, there have been more than 20,000 delays and 1,000 cancellations of U.S. flights. Vice President J.D. Vance shared his concerns about the government shutdown's impact on U.S. airports after leading a roundtable with aviation experts at the White House today.
And as much as delays have gotten worse over the last couple of weeks, everybody here is very worried that we're going to see more delays, more stresses on the people who are actually making the aviation system run, and more problems for both the consumers but also the great workers who actually make this incredible shining jewel of the American economy actually work and work on time and work safely.
And Chris Sununu joins us now. He's the president and CEO of Airlines for America. That's the trade association for leading U.S. airlines. He also, of course, formerly served as governor of New Hampshire, and he attended today's roundtable at the White House. Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Can you tell me what you discussed at this White House meeting today?
Well, it was substantive. The Vice President and Secretary Duffy of Transportation brought in a lot of unions, the airlines themselves, and just wanted to hear the stories. What's happening with the controllers and the TSA agents? What are you hearing about their families that have now gone a month without being paid? How is it affecting them? And the stories were consistent around that table, that it's really hitting a breaking point. The skies are safe. There's no question about it. That's why there are delays out there, because they slow things down to make sure that safety is paramount. But these individuals, they're going to undoubtedly keep seeing the call-outs happen, because they have to come home and explain to their kids and their wife, hey, why are we paid yet? No, but I had to do more overtime today, and the government's still not paying us. And by the way, that probably means we can't have some of the nice things we normally have, and maybe the kids can't play sports or whatever it is. It's affecting people's lives, and this vice president, he did a tremendous job of just listening to these stories to get a better understanding of what's happening on the ground. I think it's a great lesson for folks here in D.C. Get outside of this beltway. Go talk to folks around this country. This isn't a regional issue. It's not a political issue. Right? I can guarantee you as many Democrats and Republicans are being affected by not getting paid during the government shutdown. As many Democrats as Republicans are going to potentially go without SNAP benefits for those that are food insecure all across this country, because 12 times the folks up at the Senate have said no. 12 times they've said, no, we're not funding this, right? How do you explain that to those families? How do you explain that to the military? So it's not just the airlines. Obviously, we're a little bit at the tip of the spear here. I think the system is working remarkably well, considering there are delays, very few cancellations, but there are actually some delays, and people have been very good about packing their patience, as we like to say. But it's really coming to a head. This is completely unsustainable, especially as we go into these holiday weekends upcoming.
Yeah, and I do want to underscore the point that you just made, which is that it is safe to fly. Yes. That's why we're seeing the delays. But I'm wondering, from what you've heard from the leaders of these airlines, also from TSA workers across the country, is there a breaking point at which may no longer be the case? I mean, we've talked to TSA workers who are taking on second jobs in order to make up that gap in the paycheck. Does there come a breaking point where it may not be safe to fly, where you may, be hesitant to book that flight?
I understand why people may be hesitant, but it is safe, and it will continue to be safe. The breaking point, as we talk about it, if those TSA workers or the controllers say, look, I just can't do any more overtime without getting paid, that's natural, that's human, that's expected. They're just not going to come in, right? And so what happens? Then you see the cancellations, you're going to see gridlock on the runways and all that sort of thing. It's not a safety issue per se. It's really just about, hey, we can't get your plane off the ground because again, we have to ensure the safety, and no one would put the system at risk that way. So the system is going to remain safe, but the breaking point really comes where the whole thing gets kind of gridlocks, and all of a sudden the politicians on the other side are going, hey, great, I guess we got what we wanted. We got a system that completely gridlocked, and maybe now we can, force the unprecedented move of having a massive discussion on health care during what should just be a clean CR, a simple CR. I was governor, and I had continuing resolutions, and they're always what we call clean. It just says, we're going to keep funding the government. And you know what a CR is for? Cooling heads, right? Let some of the hot politics dissipate a little bit. Let government get funded, and then we'll come back in a month or so, and we'll deal with these bigger issues, these tougher issues that are going to take more debate and more discussion. But you can't hold all of the entire system hostage because you're not getting everything you want. Think about this. if the Republicans were to say, sure, we'll give you everything you want, guess what happens 3 months from now? It happens again and again and again, because they know if you hold the system hostage, you can now play politics with it. It's not fair. It's not right to the American people. And hopefully there's enough pressure on these Democrats that they know better. These moderate Democrats, they absolutely know better that this shouldn't be done. So hopefully there's enough pressure on the system before it gridlocks to get them to do the right thing.
Yeah, and I certainly understand your point. Given all of that, just quickly, I mean, would you urge Republicans to maybe take some of these one-off bills, at least to kind of cover, for the next few weeks, to cover these workers and get them paid? Would you support kind of one-off measures?
Look,
again, I know it's not ideal.
Yeah. Anything to get workers paid is great, but here's the big but. So what happens 3 weeks from now, during the Thanksgiving week? We're right back to where we started. Stopgap measures are not the solution. They sound nice in the moment, but as we get closer to those holidays, the fear is that either we have a good long-term solution, or the whole thing is going to really gridlock at the worst possible time. So that's, we want workers to get paid, but that would only be a very temporary stopgap. It's not a permanent solution. And again, you can't just keep kind of putting your hole in the cracked dam. You need to make sure you rebuild and you do it the right way. And that is a clean CR. These folks know better. They've said no 12 times. 12 times they've said we're not funding SNAP, we're not funding these workers that are giving us unpaid overtime. You know what? Here's the best news. The next bill that comes before them, they still have a chance to do the right thing. Just say yes, let's move on, and then we can deal with these bigger issues as they come.
All right, and as you mentioned, the travel season is already upon us, getting closer by the day. Governor Sununu, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.